Just one more mention. If this is the first grapevine video you're watching today, I sound bad. I look worse. The dental thing is not handled. Please don't complain to me about my saying that over and over again because it's just about all I can do to sit in front of this camera looking the way I look. It's not been fun, that's for sure. So it's going to be a while as I try to look beyond it, look around it, close your eyes, minimize it, do something. And my Hershey's chocolate is melting right in my hands. So please don't criticize me for eating chocolate. At any rate, okay, what about the cost? What about extra frugal methods for, let's say money is a huge issue. When you want to can as much as you can as much as you can. My mom used to say, eat what you can eat can. But let's say cost is a huge issue. Okay, you got your one grapevine, or you start asking everybody and their cousins if you can have just some leaves off their grapevine or some prunings off their grapevine if they have some. So you should very easily be able to put yourself in a little vineyard with 50 vines. I talked in the previous video about taking one leaf with one stem that I saw on YouTube. And if I find that video, I will post it. I'll put a thumbs up for it or something. You can find it. Okay, so you can buy yourself one grapevine and do this transplant thing. You get yourself. It doesn't take a whole bunch of space to put 50 vines. It doesn't have to take that much space. And what you're going to do, this is not the place to put this, what you're going to do is you're going to cut off all those extra pieces like I showed you anyway. You're going to try to have, most of the pruning videos that I have seen have shown that you have four, I can't do this right, it goes the other way. You're going to have, I can't do it. You're going to have four anyway. Four main, should have a pen in here. It looks more like this actually. It actually looks more like this. You have, that's going to make sense. That's a little better illustration. Okay, you're going to have four main parts of the vine, and hopefully you're going to have wire running both directions. So you have one up, one down, moving outward from the vine. If I understand correctly, now I've worked hard on trying to learn this. I really have. If I'm not getting it, there's different methods of pruning. The main one that I've seen is that everything coming off those four, everything that's living, that has buds on it, that's coming off those four, you leave about 2 or 3 buds from that main piece of trunk, and that's where you clip, because that's all you want. You want the energy to go into producing grapes, not greenery, which is how I got all these pieces of stem. So now, you got your grapes, okay? They take very little in the way of fertilizing and very little in the way of bug control. I use, but we have some smart crows now that finally figured out they were out there, I think. They've been out there for years, but you have to figure out how to keep the crows away from them. Let me know what you've done successfully to take care of pests of all kinds with your grapevines, if you will. They're pretty low maintenance from what I've seen. Ours have just been beautiful. Okay, so you got your 50 grapevines, give or take a few. You do 100, I don't care. It doesn't have to take up a lot of space. That's debatable. We won't talk about that right now. So you're going to get an average of at least 10 quarts per vine. So then you get your 500 quarts. There, I mentioned the other methods. You can do a steam canner. You can just have a sink full of warm water, whatever, and dip them down. Oh, see my fat go. Dip them down. I have no pride. Dip them down in the water, and you can put them, stem and all, right into the jars. Pour either water over them or a sugar syrup over them, and put the lids on and water bath process them, and let them cool down a little before you take them out. Take them out, put them on folded towels or folded newspapers away from a window and a draft. Let them sit for more than 24 hours. Wash with soap and water a little bit on the outside. Date them. Get them out of direct light in a place where they can't be broken. You can ask for divided boxes that maybe mayonnaise or spaghetti come in at your grocery store. And if you work that, you can get those boxes where they don't cut the lid off. You want the lid to remain intact. One, you can get it, if you talk to the people, you can get them to cut that box in a way where the lid will just flip open, but it's attached on one side, and then you can, it works better. Let's just leave it at that. I've got to get this thing published or it's not going to work. So, if you can get your jars for $1 a dozen, use. If you can get clippings from someone else's, sound really bad. Clippings from someone else's grapevine, or clippings from your own grapevine, then you got the cost of lids, or maybe not. There's not very many things I will can in a spaghetti sauce jar, but great. That's another debatable topic. I understand how strongly people feel about that kind of thing. We can talk about it some other time. I probably will, but I would do this in a spaghetti sauce jar. There are probably a few other jars I would use. There are reusable jars you can buy at the store that have they sell fruit in them now. And it's going to go overtime, and I'm going to wish I quit. So, if you want to do it in an extra frugal way, you can get your vines for free. You really can make your own pesticide sprays. That doesn't have to cost. You can make your own fertilizer mixtures. That doesn't have to cost you anything. You can do a few a day if you want to, or you could get some sticks and twigs and things, and you could very easily build yourself a nice fire in your yard and not have to use the fuel if you were in extreme need. You might need to know that someday. You might want to practice it. Keeps the heat out of the house as well. It keeps your air conditioning bills down. 7 minutes plus, let's see, frugal. The spaghetti sauce jars would be free. You could beg, borrow, or steal spaghetti sauce jars from people. We can talk about that at another time. Let's see, what was the other thing? Pretty much you can get everything for free if you work at it. And trust me, I've done a lot of work at that before. The spaghetti sauce boxes or the mayonnaise boxes you can get for free if you handle that right from your grocery store. And so you can pretty much get everything but the sugar free. The fuel, you can. We have like a day every month where people can put their limbs that blow down out of the trees and stuff on the curb, and the city will come get them. So you could even help yourself to that, I'm sure, and have your fuel. I was tempted to keep the front. I kind of wished I had. Tempted to keep the front metal piece of a clothes washer that we had to put in recycle. I hope this is going to publish. For purposes of putting a fire under it, and it would be like an awesome canning stove. You have to be very, very careful of it, but it would be awesome. I'm going to quit here and move forward. Thanks.